Hey guys, welcome back to Skylanders Ring of Heroes. We are on my new alt account, Volkin Jr. It's something that I wanted to do because I was struggling for content on the main account because progression is really slow now, and I thought all the early content was out of date and it's not that helpful to newer players because of all the changes that have happened. So I was like, let's make a new account, see how fast we can progress to B10. At the end of it, I'm going to do an overall beginner's guide, but I wanted to have these sort of progression updates to link in that video so that people can look back and get more in-depth into different sections of the game. So on the account at the moment, we're on to day 3, and the other awesome thing is work just called me. I'm working in the city now, which means I can catch the train to work, so I have like 3 extra hours of game time, which is awesome, so I should be able to get some more content out. But yeah, so we're on day 3 of the account. What we've actually managed to clear is, so far we've cleared 10-7 easy. We got that scroll. We've also, what else have we done? We have done B7 3-star. So that's the B7 3-star there. And we're also able to now farm hard modes of scenario 1. So you start getting those 5-star runes. So that's where it's at. The B7, like I said, I 3-starred it. It's not 100% reliable. I'm probably going to farm more scenarios before I get into that. So the basic thing you want to focus on, the basic team, is Kaboom, Stealth Elf, and Wham Shell. So you get Stealth Elf given to you. Kaboom you get from scenario 3 easy. Wham Shell from scenario 2 easy. It's literally, you can make the team in your first hour of playing the game, and then you just progress from there. What you really want to do is focus on for these early days. Always do your normal Stealth Elf, your 15 daily shards there, your 15 daily shards of the Wham Shell, 15 of the Kaboom, and also 15 of the Igniter down here, because Igniter you will be building later on. That is going to be the core team that I'm going to use for my progression. Also, eventually, I will throw in an air jetpack into the combo, but I'll talk about him in a later video. But he's the other one that I am going to be looking at building. I was hoping I could summon him early to test it out, but we'll just have to get him once we can farm hard mode over there. So those are the main units you want to farm. So what you do is, you go into that, like I said, you do those daily 15. You want to be working through the quests. The quests is basically the main thing you want to do. I've finished part 1 and 2 of that so far. And yeah, you just want to work through the quests. If you don't have time to manually go through the quests or anything like that, what I went back to was farming Kaboom shards on easy. Basically, the first day was farming Kaboom. I got him awakened at 2-star on the first day, just so I could have those AoE bombs. Because now that every unit can reach level 70, no matter what star they are, it meant that I could actually do that, get the AoE bombs, and still have some decent stats on him. And the AoE bombs aren't too amazing. The 2 main things I use the bombs for farming like scenarios, just quicker farming, and also for getting 3 stars on like B7 where I needed to kill the waves a bit quicker. So that's pretty much all I needed that awakening for all other content. I'm still pretty much using skill 1 and 3. The charge skill, having that extra crit, is really nice, and the attack break on this one is really nice too. So just a good all-round unit. Haven't used any skill ups. I'm holding all my skill ups out, and I'm probably going to wait until I'm looking at B10 before I skill anything up. So those are the main units you want to go for. And like I said, day 1 was basically farming Kaboom and working through quests. The villain you want to go for is the Gulper. So as soon as you unlock Hall of Chaos, anytime you see a Gulper, go for it. Ideally, you want to avoid the light and dark ones, just because all the other elements are going to be better for you for progression. Obviously, B10, you're going to want fire, but I feel like whatever element it is, it's going to help me at some stage in the progression. So for my talents, what I've been doing is Life and Earth. I've been putting them all into the Life attack for Stealth Elf's attack. For Water Mech, it's all been going into Mech attack for Boomer's attack eventually. Fire and Magic, we're doing the Fire attack for the Kaboom and the Igniter eventually. And then the Air and Undead ones, I'm going into HP for the Air because eventually that Jetpack will heal based on his HP. So we're just buffering that a little bit. Obviously, whatever Hall of Chaos dungeon you unlock, run that every time because it's a free entry. You just get more gems. You also get some shards for the villains. But besides that, you want to aim for all Gulper. Don't stress, like, day 1 I was only getting 1 Gulper Shard per run. Day 2 I started getting about 2, and then day 3 I started being able to get 2 to 3 Gulper Shards, and day 3, at the start of day 3 is when I actually managed to summon my Gulper, and he does make things a lot better. As for extreme dungeons, just go for anything you really like the look of. If it's one of the units you're building or a Nat 5, go for it. But once again, try and aim for something with an element that's the skill ups are going to benefit you. Try and avoid light and dark, like I said, unless they are Nat 5s. That's the Hall of Chaos. So that does make your finished team for early progression being the Kaboom, Stealth Elf, Wham Shell, and the Gulper. These two, the Boomer and the Igniter, just level them as spectators and stuff. They're not too needed at this real early stage. Like I said, everything I've done so far I did with the other 3 units, and that's all you really need to do. So basically, like I said, at the start, I was farming day 1, Kaboom, got Kaboom awakened. After that, I started looking at runes. So when I started looking at rune farming, it was a case of farming scenario 3 on normal, because it gives you those strike sets. What you want to end up getting is 2 strike sets, 1 for Stealth Elf, 1 for Kaboom. And what I was aiming for from them was to have a 4-star slot 1 rune, and then slot 3, 4, 5, 3 or 4 star didn't really bother me. So I was going for slot 1, like scenario. So stage 1 gives you slot 1 runes, 2, 2, and so on and so forth. So I was doing scenario slot 1, 3, and 5 for the strike runes. And because you need 4 for the set, the last one I was doing was slot 4, because down there I was going to be happy with either HP or defense. Didn't really bother me which one. So it gives me 2 options that I could farm for. And once I got those 2 sets of strike runes, then I went to scenario 1 and I farmed slot 2 and 6 there. The reason I did 2 and 6 in scenario 1 was because it was going to take me a long time to get, because the only thing I'm looking for from slot 2 and 6 is flat attack. And it was going to take me a long time to get those. So I'd rather spend a long time farming Stealth Elf shards as opposed to the Igniter shards, because I'm not going to use Igniter till later on, whereas Stealth Elf is helping me now, and I wanted to get my Stealth Elf 6-star. So day 1 was farming Kaboom, basically. This is sort of paraphrasing. Day 2 was farming Stealth Elf, was farming the strike rune sets, and then farming Stealth Elf and the slot 2 and 6 attack runes. And then once I got that done, once I got my rune sets finished, my Stealth Elf was a little bit off 6-starring, so I think I used about 30 Omni Gems to get her 6-starred. For Wham Shell, for his runes, early on you do get a crate from the quest that gives you 4-star ward runes, and I basically just threw some of those on and then some other mixed runes, nothing amazing, to get him through. He's got tanky base stats, so he sort of survives pretty well as is, so you don't have to put too much investment into Wham Shell early on. It's more just getting you runes on the other 2. So my Stealth Elf, as you can see, she's still rocking that slot 2 and 6 energy rune attack, and then the 1, 3, 4, 5 are the strike rune sets. This one's still a 4-star. These 3, nothing amazing on them. This one I did actually get. So what happened was, you'll hit a quest where it says you need to power up a 5-star rune. And before I got to that quest, I actually managed to 3-star and pretty easily auto B6. So once I could do that, I did about 40 runs of it and actually managed to get this rune. I powered it up to +9 just for general use, and then I hit the quest where you had to power up a 5-star rune 5 times. That's why this ended up at level 14. I didn't want to go past 12 with it, but just to get that quest out of the way, that's what I did. And B6 was previously something that I don't suggest people do, but just doing like 40 or 50 runs of B6 when it was really easy for me gave me some better 4-star runes to be able to sort of nudge me over the line to get into doing the hard mode scenarios and B7. So I don't mind the B6. It's not great. The drop rates are pretty horrible, but if you get 1 or 2 5-star, 4-star decent runes, it can actually help. So that was it. So like I said, I'm gonna recap this a little bit, but day 1 Kaboom, day 2 rune sets and Stealth Elf, and then moving into the B6 type range. And then I did a little bit of B6 farming, and then after that, like I said, my runes, when I could actually do the hard mode scenario 1 and B7, these were pretty much my runes as they are. Like I said, I got this one from B6, so I was really lucky. But the thing to consider when I did B7 3-star, I think my units were level 54. If you can't do it, just remember, you can still level your units. Just go back, farm shards, farm runes, and get your levels up, because the levels give you the stats that your runes might not have. So that's always an option to go back to. So that was Stealth Elf runes. Kaboom, I've changed a few. I got this one from farming hard mode scenario. Then he's got just those two. He's gone on to sort of a broken set because my strike runes were fairly average, and I started getting some decent 4-stars and stuff. So, and his 5-star. So he's dropped the strike set now. He's still fairly average runed, but that's the stats for those guys at the moment where they're at. And yeah, pretty much after that, I farmed some scenarios, went to B7, realized I could manual 3-star B7. And then from that, I can't really auto it that well. Semi-manual auto it, I can kind of get through it, but not reliably. Basically, the way you want to 3-star that B7, I won't do the run, but it's basically this. These are the skills you want to have set up, and all you want to do is get Gulper out early, use his focus aggro so your units don't get attacked, use no skills from Wham Shell, and basically just focus on using bombs to clear with the Kaboom. That's the waves. Once you get to the boss, once again, get that Gulper out, get that focus aggro. It does do one hit on the boss, but just getting those blows to focus him are much nicer. Once the Gulper does go down, having Wham Shell there as a secondary meat shield because he's elemental disadvantage does help a fair bit. But then once you do get to the boss, you don't want to use the bombs for Kaboom. At this stage, I don't have enough effect accuracy to reliably get that damage on the boss. You really want to single target down the boss. So I just focus on using Kaboom's charge skill along with Stealth Elf 2 skills. And that's how I managed to get the 3-star. Like I said, the bombs did really help. Once I look into auto for it, I actually swapped it back to this. It's just more reliable. It is slower, but having the attack break on the boss and that extra single target damage just actually does help. So that's how I've been doing the auto. Full auto is about 60% reliable. So I'm going to do some more farming and progressing like that, just farming runes from scenario 1 and farming those levels as well, which will help. So from here, I'm just looking at, like I said, I'm going to farm scenario 1 hard, try and get some more decent 5-star runes, get some more levels on my units, and then after that, I'm probably going to go into full auto B7 mode, get some better runes, and then look at B8. For B8, my plan is to use the Stealth Elf and Wham Shell, and maybe throw in a Boomer into the mix. But besides that, daily, just looking at farming the 15 shards daily for all these guys. Hopefully, eventually get up to unlocking that Wind Jetpack and progressing with him. If you want to look at what else I did manage to summon, I do have Aurora. I managed to summon him twice, or her. I'm not sure if it's a dude or a chick, actually. Anyway, Aurora. So we've got 100 shards of that. And for my first Nat 5, it was actually the Stormblade again. Don't worry, I haven't been using it. Like I said, I'm doing the full free-to-play progress. What I am testing with this account is not summoning anything that I don't want shards for. So the everything that I've summoned, Enigma, I thought I'd need him. I didn't, so I didn't really need to summon him. He used to be great. I feel like now having Wham Shell so early, the team's working the way it is, so I don't need Enigma. Washbuckler was that first one that I had to summon. Sprocket I summoned because I think she's going to be an absolute beast, and she's going to be like the core of my W10 team, and she's probably the one that I'm going to save all my 4-star Omnis for. The rest, and the reason I summoned Stormblade was because I want to hopefully get him in Realm of Souls as well. Like I said, I'm testing that strategy. For all these guys, the reason that I summoned them was because when I first look at this Master Eons quest, the rewards, the 4-star rune crates looked really nice, but I think the only one you're realistically going to get is going to be the Spyro and Kaboom one before you've sort of passed the point of needing the 4-star rune crate. So the others I wouldn't worry too much about. You might be able to get this one to get the Gorilla Driller and Flashwing, but you might not be at the point where you need them by the time you do get it. So Spyro and Kaboom were the only ones I really focused on for that. Besides that, like I said, the rest of the units I'm leaving unsummoned to see if I can't get at least test this rumor about Realm of Souls having higher drop rates for units that you have summoned. But besides that, was there anything else to cover from this first few days? I don't think there is. Pretty cruisy progression. Like I said, really, really enjoyable, actually. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.